piste. You know what that means? Yeah, most people don't unless they've learned Greek. And, for me, when I was learning Greek in college and seminary, I taught my wife that word. It's kind of a fun word to say. Say it with me. Oligopista. It's a word that means, oh, you of little faith. And to this day, my wife still uses that word on me. It's the only Greek word that she knows, but there are times where she knows something is right. She trusts her gut on it, or she trusts God in it, and I'm not quite sure. And when that comes to fruition, when she's proven to be right, she says, oligopista. Not in a derogatory tone, but in a, I told you so. Just trust God in this. Oligopista. Oh, you of little faith. And where does this word originate? Actually, Jesus used it frequently with his disciples. And one of the most famous instances of this is in Matthew chapter 14, where the disciples' boat is caught up in a storm, and Jesus walks to them on the water, and Peter says to Jesus, Jesus, if it's you, tell me to walk to you. And Jesus says, come. And so Peter starts hopping out of the boat and walking on the water to Jesus until he looks around him and sees the wind and the waves crashing down and starts to doubt. And then he looks at Jesus and says, Lord, save me. And Jesus reaches out his hand to Peter and pulls him to safety and says to him that word, oligopista, which we translate as, O you of little faith. But I was reading a book recently where it talks about the relationship that Jesus has with doubters, the relationship that Jesus has with you and I when we find ourselves hesitant or questioning or doubting what he has said. And this writer made the distinction between little faith and lacking in faith. Little faith does not equal no faith. In fact, you look at Peter, and this entire story, the only reason why he gets out of the boat to walk to Jesus is because he has faith. And the only reason why, when he is sinking in the storm, that he cries out, Lord, help, is because he has faith. Somebody who has no faith will not look to Jesus. Peter looks to Jesus. Yes, his faith in that moment is misplaced as he looks at the wind and the waves. But then he reorients himself. He recenters himself as he looks to Jesus, as he cries out to Jesus. And I just want that to be an encouragement to you today, because I'm guessing I'm not the only one at times who has doubts, who questions what God is doing in a certain situation, and maybe you're in that place right now. But what do we do when we find ourselves there? Even in the little faith that we have, we look to Jesus. We call him Lord. And to call him Lord recognizes that he's the one who remains in control. And to know that just like he reached out to Peter and pulled him to safety, he does the same for you and I. Oligopista. Don't hear that as a derogatory term. Hear it as an invitation. Hear it from someone who loves you and who wants to see you through whatever you're struggling with. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you again next time.